How to start a business from nothing, even if you're broke. You're probably scrolling through business ideas on Google at 2 a.m., feeling completely overwhelmed because everyone says you need to make money to start a business. Here's the truth. That's complete bullshit, and it's keeping you broke. I went from literally nothing, and I mean nothing, to closing and funding nearly $1 million in wholesale real estate deals in just 11 months. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna give you the exact 5-step system I use to do it. Look, if you're sitting there thinking, I'm gonna start a business, but I don't have money or I don't even know where to begin, this video will change your life. But here's what's at stake. If you don't learn this system, you'll stay exactly where you are right now, scrolling through videos, but never taking action. Here's what we're covering. First, the mindset shift that changes everything. Second, how to pick the right business model. Third, my validation system that prevents you from wasting months building something nobody wants. Fourth, the hustle phase that separates winners from losers. And fifth, how to scale without burning out, plus a $50,000 mistake I made that you need to avoid. Number 1, important mindset shift. First thing you need to understand, and this is going to sound backwards, starting with nothing is actually your biggest advantage. When I started, I literally had no choice but to get creative. I couldn't throw money at problems because at the time I didn't have any. I had to solve everything with pure hustle, and here's what nobody tells you about having money from day one. It just purely makes you lazy. Your lack of resources forces you to focus on what actually matters. People who throw money when starting businesses often fail because they never really learn the hustle, the systems, or the processes. You're gonna be better than them because you have to be. But here's where most people screw up. They pick the wrong business model. Let me show you how to pick the right one. Number 2, picking the right business model. Not all businesses are created equal. When you're starting from nothing, most people pick something that requires massive upfront investment and then wonder why they're still broke 6 months later. You could spend $50,000 on inventory that sits in your garage, or you could pick something that generates cash immediately. The difference? Only one keeps you broke. The other makes you rich. Service businesses are your gold mine. High margin, low startup costs, immediate cash flow. That's exactly why I chose real estate wholesaling. I could make $20,000 plus per deal with basically no money down, find problems people will pay to solve, then solve them. But before you start anything, you need to prove people will actually pay for it. And that's where most people waste months of their life. Number 3, my valuation system. Here's a painful truth. I see people spend months building products nobody wants, then act shocked when they can't sell anything. You're about to make the same mistake unless you understand this. Building first, selling second is backwards. It's why 90% of businesses fail in their first year. Start selling before you have anything to sell. I was marketing and getting leads before I even had my first contract. Pre-sell everything you can. Get people to pay you up front, then deliver later. If they won't pay for the idea, they definitely won't pay for the product. Now, once you start getting traction, you're going to hit the phase that breaks most people. Number 4, the winner's hustle phase. This is where most people quit, but it's exactly where winners are made. And I'm gonna be brutally honest with you about what this looks like. You're going to work 12 to 16-hour days. You're going to get rejected constantly. You're going to question everything and wonder if you're completely insane. I was doing my own reviews at midnight, tracking every single KPI, learning from every mistake. But here's what happens when you push through. You build skills that money can't buy. While other people are sleeping, you're becoming unstoppable. That foundation I built during those brutal months, that's honestly what made everything possible. But here's where I almost destroyed everything I built. And it's a mistake that could cost you $50,000 like it did to me. Number 5, scaling without burnout. Once you start making money, the temptation is to scale fast, hire a team, get an office, try to impress people where people think that you've made it. I made this exact mistake. I got a team too quickly, tried to do way too much at once. Went from making $150,000 a month solo to barely breaking even with 5 employees. I was working harder than ever, but making less money. I had to make the tough choice to fire everyone and went back to a solo operation. And you know what happened? I started making more money with way less stress. Sometimes less is more. Scale slow and steady. Master one thing at a time before you move to the next item. Nothing is easy, but it's absolutely possible. I went from broke broke to nearly $1 million in less than a year using these exact principles. If you want the business plan I've used, I've created a 10-page guide with a step-by-step process and resources that got me to $100K a month. The link is going to be in the description below. And if this opened your eyes to what's possible, smash that like button and subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping more real-world business advice every week. No fluff, just what honestly works. Remember, you don't need money to start. You just need to start, honestly. Stop making excuses and build something.